Hey, kids, here's a little public service announcement from Johnny Blaze. Never, ever mix McDonald's breakfast sandwiches with Taco Bell burritos. Your stomach will thank you. Back to you, Ty.
Well, that's a good way to start the rebirth of Hastly Kayfabed Recap.
No. It's not. That wasn't a good way. That was delightful.
Oh boy,
Yes.
It was magical.
we're all just happy that Broken Matt's finally in WWE, huh?
Yeah, what's even more going to be delightful is when Meek Mahan is finally deleted. That would be delightful.
I was about to get on that for you screwing up Mika Mahan.
I thought he was going to go after the man with 3 H's.
With the golden shovels.
We have to see.
Apparently, he broke one out in India. He's breaking one out in India.
He had to. He
already did it for the Singh brothers.
Yeah, really.
But here's the thing: will he be able to get that golden shovel through customs? It can be considered a weapon of mass destruction.
That's true too.
Well,
That's Rob Van Dam.
Oh god. We're all back, as you can tell.
I'm back, bitches.
So the show. So when I say rebirth, I kind of mean that this is going to be a brand new format today, and seeing that WWE pay-per-views are going to be mostly once a month, there's going to be 1 month where it's going to be historical. Hence, you see the word 1996 on the screen, is because we're going to be talking about the year 1996. Like, this is going to be the Wrestling Historian episode. Every month or so, we're going to talk about key turning points in wrestling history. Then we're going to have the Wild Card episode, where we pretty much shoot the shit about just about everything else. Then we're going to have the Tale Behind the Tape, where we go through a whole month.
I'm trying to block this fucking year out of my...
We're going to essentially go through a whole month or two of recap of everything that's built up to the actual pay-per-view. That will probably be next week, the following week. And of course, there's no show on the pay-per-view. We're probably going to have a recap show. Only exception will be Royal Rumble live reaction, where, of course, we do a live taping or recording or whatever of us watching the Royal Rumble itself.
I will say there's one thing I have to worry about with our recap episodes that we would have to do. Mainly because, again...
Well, the recap episode is going to be like short and quick, so whoever's around is around.
Well, it's not that. It's just mostly because, let's be honest, WWE has a thing lately where they like to throw a curveball on the last week just to fuck with us.
Oh, you mean throwing the Dusty Swerve?
Yep.
Well, hey, let me tell you something. That little Dusty Swerve saved that last pay-per-view.
Oh, God, yes.
Oh,
Going
yeah.
into Survivor Series, that show looked like shit.
Like, there was only one match that was watchable before they changed them all up. Mm-hmm. And that was a tag team match. Ironically enough, that became the least interesting match on the actual show.
And that match was actually really good with the Usos and Sheamus.
Yeah, I was about to say, that was actually pretty good. So yes, that is the new Hastly Kayfabed Recap. A historical episode, a wild card episode, a full recap of everything that's happened to build up to a show, and probably a quick recap right after a pay-per-view ends. And yes, if you can't tell, we're doing this on a Sunday. Yay. So, gentlemen, how have you been?
I'm good.
Tired.
Well, I got nothing better to do. We've been eliminated from the playoffs since October.
I thought you got eliminated officially last week.
Yes and no. Yeah, last week just made it official.
Yeah, exactly.
It's confirmed. Just remember, folks, I want to have this is going to be recorded for prosperity too. All you Giants fans said all that shit. Oh, the Jets are going to go 0-16 this season. You guys can't beat the 49ers. Congratulations.
We might not. As of today, we're still mathematically alive, so that's something. Yeah. We're probably not gonna make it because we have to run the table, but we're still better off than the Giants right now.
We don't have an idiot starting Geno Smith.
How do you start Geno? How do you start Geno Smith over Eli Manning?
I guess this is why McAdoo's going to get fired soon.
like I said,
Hopefully by the end of this broadcast.
Possibly by the end of this broadcast.
that will probably be the closing news. They're like, oh, a closing announcement. Max News has officially been fired before he got on the team bus for the Giants.
It's like, no, you're just gonna walk home. We're in Oakland. Start walking.
So fans have already posted itinerary for McAdoo. It's like, see, you don't even have to put him on the team bus. Just give him this and he'll be fine. He'll land in Newark, which will be the worst place he could land in.
Oh man.
Yeah, imagine.
I think the Browns would be a better bet at this time.
And by the way, here's another one. I know this is supposed to be a wrestling podcast, but whatever.
Well.
This still needs to be said. There are people in Cleveland organizing the 0 and 16 parade. They've got the permits for it already.
I've seen it.
They are going to celebrate the fact that they're going to go 0 and 16.
Despite the fact that the number one court.
Here's another one. To the point, the kid who's supposed to be the number 1 draft pick this year.
I was about to say that.
Has said if the Browns try to sign him, he's going back to school.
I was just about to say that. Yeah, the number 1 quarterback in college said that if the Browns get one of the first 2 picks, he's staying in his school for his junior year. He sees what the Browns do to. He's seen what the Browns do to quarterbacks.
John, look at Johnny Football.
Mm-hmm. Turned him into an alcoholic.
Just like Karen Jarrett did to her 2 husbands.
Yep.
Just like Karen Jarrett did to her 2 husbands. See, we took it back to wrestling.
Poof.
There we go.
Now we're going to. Now, as you can tell, we're going to talk about 1996. But, John, there's something you want to discuss first.
Yeah, there is. But first of all, we need to say that a miracle occurred today.
Ben McAdoo has been fired?
No.
Yes, sir.
No.
The power of Hulkamania prevailed.
Oh, yeah, the Silver Dome.
Because you know something, brother? I was hanging and banging in the basement at home, dude. And apparently a bomb went off that was supposed to take down the immortal Silver Dome, brother. And just like our red and yellow hero, the building no-sold the fucking dynamite. The power of Hulkamania protected the Silver Dome.
Jeez.
Well, then again, you know, if it can withstand the fucking impact of a body slam of a 2,000-pound giant.
Because remember, folks, Andre gains about 200 pounds with each interview that Hogan does.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, if it can withstand.
And also, Terry Bollea has an 8-inch penis, and apparently Hulk Hogan has a 12-inch penis.
Oh, did those sizes increase by 2 inches?
Yeah, those as well.
Okay.
Oh, goody.
But if the Silver Dome could survive that, it could survive a bunch of dynamite. To the point now they're going to have to demolish it by hand.
Just leave the building. It's a historical building.
Just leave the building up and redo it, and then have WrestleMania whatever over there again. It'll bring people.
That's one thing.
The building that withstood the explosion.
Yeah,
that's one thing I honestly have to say.
The building that withstood the explosion and the dynamite that was supposed to take it out, since the explosion was Andre versus
So that's how you know it was built correctly.
That's why I said I was damn proud. Even if that building does eventually get demolished, at least I can say I stood in the center where that ring was, where that magical moment happened. I was able to do that in this lifetime. I'm happy about that.
And you can say the building was so strong it survived 2 implosions.
There you go.
Yeah.
It was the night the Incredible became immortal. The Giant passed the torch.
Mm-hmm.
And for all you faggots that like to watch those spot monkey pussies and that fucking asshole who doesn't even belong in the same ring as Chris Jericho at Wrestle Kingdom.
And by the way, the fact of the matter that if that building sells out for that show that Cody and the Young Bucks want to self-promote, then there's proof positive that there's 10,000
fucking idiots.
Well, they say a sucker is born every minute.
And remember, if Wrestle Kingdom sells out this year, cupcakes, it's because of Chris Jericho. Not Omega.
I agree. Even though I know, and you know it, and everyone's going to be, every fan that actually knows wrestling is going to be disappointed when Jericho puts Omega over. I
Yeah,
know
you
that's going to
Jericho's
happen.
gonna put him over.
We know Jericho's going to put him over, but wouldn't it be something if Jericho all of a sudden decided, or all of a sudden everyone decided, you know what, Jericho's going to go over?
But Jericho has a 1-day contract.
Yeah, I know, but that'd be hilarious.
Okay. As I said a couple times, probably on this broadcast, this is going to make or break Omega because now the world will be watching. It's not going to be just the internet marks or the people the Young Bucks already sucker into thinking they're actually good. People are going to watch this match for Chris Jericho. And if Kenny Omega,
Fuck the Bucks.
if Kenny Omega drops the ball, there's going to be no recovery.
Although I will have to give the Bucks credit for one thing only. They don't like Vince Russo. So
Well, no one likes Vince Russo.
exactly, but still, at least there's one thing they have some sanity on, that they are on the other side of the fence when it comes to the Archbishop of Talentberry.
Oh, here's another random thought. I'm sitting here looking at it. I forgot. I finally found the Dan Pop. You know Dan from Street Fighter? I finally found the Dan Pop.
Oh, congratulations.
Oh, there you go.
That's major announcement for me. Fuck everybody else. I don't
Oh,
care.
boy.
I'm back on the show after a couple months. You're going to hear me talk.
Well, there's another
And that faggot who bitched and moaned about me being back on the show in that one episode, fuck you and the horse you rode in on.
Oh,
I don't think she listens to this show anymore.
Good. I hope you fucking kill yourself.
Oh, it's a shame.
Oh,
Right.
I think Ninja just remembered who that she was.
I hope you
I'm gonna-
fucking
I'm
hang
gonna wait
yourself,
for-
little girl. And that's a fucking shoot.
Is that the?
Hang yourself and put it up on YouTube.
Is that one of the chicks that claims that she was sexually harassed even though nobody would even touch her?
Hey,
No. Anyway.
Pussy hats.
Oh, God. Anyway.
America, I'm back.
So apparently WWE has recently put up a LinkedIn profile for a job as a writer to work at Stamford, Connecticut. Now, let me read this
I'll
off.
get into that in a minute.
Okay, as John loads his shotgun, let me actually read it off for the people who can't read the screen. WWE develops and produces the last of the great variety shows on television, combining all the elements of entertainment, sitcom, talk show, soap opera, action adventure, and drama, with 52 weeks of original programming without off-season or reruns. Yeah, that's one problem already. There's a creative challenge to keep characters and storylines interesting and compelling. That's where you come in. Your key responsibilities will be to develop and implement creative storylines for broadcast and for the network. Collaborate with
Screenshot from the. There we go.
Collaborate with a team of road-based and home-based writers to build compelling Raw and SmackDown stories that capture the audience and generate buzz. Constantly improve and refine storylines. Use consumer insight and social media to deliver impactful
Sir,
stories.
can I interrupt you for a second before
Go
you go
ahead.
any further? You kids that are out there listening, you want to get this, you want to 100% get this job? Just put Cena wins LOL and send it in.
No. On your job application, just tell them I know how to get Roman over.
Well, there are a list of actual qualifications that you have to go before you can put Roman goes over.
Must enjoy taste a 72-year-old Irish man's ass.
Well, let me list them off real quick before we start ripping this apart. You must have a minimum of 5 years in the television or film industry.
So all those snuff porn films I did, I'm good.
Professional television staff experience in drama and comedy is a plus. All right.
Oh.
Writing
which is oxymoronic because that show's not funny at all. A 5-year-old can write better jokes than they can.
A 5-year-old will actually write jokes for an adult, but anyway. Writing and directing reality television is a plus.
Which is something that's majorly wrong with that.
Experience in all aspects of live television production is a plus. All right.
I once had to do a shoot where there was no lube.
All right.
Does that count?
highly creative.
Yeah,
but
highly creative
That's
to the
subjective.
point where if the writers can't come up with anything for the boys, it's the boys that get fired.
yeah, not the writer. No. Can you imagine a major Hollywood studio doing that? Marvel Studios. Hey, we can't come up with something for Iron Man for the new Avengers movie. You're fired.
Well,
Sorry,
DC.
Mr. Downey, you're fired.
Well, DC does that. That's why half their movies have problems. Hey yo, and
No, what's
actually like
happening with
Suicide
DC
Squad.
Well, what was happening with DC is that stupid feminist movement of mentioning shit that happened to you 50 years ago, and everyone's supposed to care now.
I thought what was happening in DC is that the big difference between Marvel and DC, sorry to go off topic, is that Marvel actually has essentially a commanding director that everybody else has to report to. DC pretty much lets their directors do whatever the hell they want, and well,
Hey,
that's why
I will say the last two DC movies have been good.
I'm about to say, but that's why there's a stark difference,
Very.
that's why there's a stark difference between the Superman and Man of Steel and the Superman and Justice League.
Wonder Woman was very good, and I'm one of the few people I actually really liked Justice League.
You know,
I didn't see Justice League, but I'll be one of the few defenders of Suicide Squad. Like I understand it's a poor man's Guardians of the Galaxy, but it was good for a poor man's Guardians of the Galaxy.
where?
Go back up. I'll
What
put it to you guys like this. No, I'm sorry. John was going to the channel guide. I'm like, look, Rocky 4 is coming on.
Oh, speaking of Rocky 4, you see the opponent for Creed 2, right?
Yes. You don't want to get me started on a Rocky tangent on this show. I'll take the whole 2 hours. You know how much I love those movies.
This is basically the end. So let's leave it on.
All right, now let me continue.
Where were we?
We were laughing at the highly creative part.
Here's what I wanted to say. Everyone knows how much I love Superman. I'm a big Superman mark, like Batman, the Joker, stuff like that. Cavill earned the right to call himself Superman with this movie. Right. In my eyes, anyway. He earned the right to play Superman. Even with his CG non-mustache, which was
well, supposedly they had to rewrite the script at the last minute because Superman was even in Justice League. So let me go to the rest real quick. Plugged into pop culture, which should be a given. Able to work closely and effectively with talent, writers, and producers throughout the creative process. Now, here's the sad part. Strong understanding of the WWE audience, a plus. I thought knowing your audience was business 101. I don't know.
Yeah, really.
I don't know. Lou, it's been almost 8 years, has it, since I took my business class? Is that still a thing? Knowing your audience?
Who knows? What? Yeah, but why would you want to do that? Because Impact knows their audience so well, they tape their TV 4 months in advance.
The thing. That's bullshit because most of these writers, they just see it as a Hollywood job and thumb their nose down at the business.
So they bring in a bunch of guys just like Bucky Beaver fucktard.
Strong knowledge of WWE shows, talent, and storylines. Bullshit!
Bullshit.
Well, that means everybody's screwed because nobody knows what the hell's going on.
Yeah, let's be honest. Who can remember something that happened in the WWE 2 months ago? Come on.
Where's the last thing? Where's the last
WWE 2 weeks ago?
Where's the last highly memorable thing that happened 2 months ago? Let me ask you that.
2 months ago,
okay.
The only thing that's been memorable for me in the last 2 months has been delete, and that's it.
Yeah.
Everything else has kind of gone.
Okay.
Except for the return of Kurt Angle.
Okay, Kurt Angle and the return of Broken Matt. And maybe Asuka tapping on poor Dana Brooke in 2 seconds.
Miz actually losing the Intercontinental title to Roman Reigns.
Yes, we need to have a celebration party for that. Because fucker, he was so close to Honky's record. And so close, but not for you.
The funniest part is seeing the fucking smarts cry.
Oh my
Wait, they cried?
Oh, God.
Wait, they cried when the Miz lost?
They threw down their sippy cups. It's not fair. Miz should still be champion. They were idiots throwing away those fucking deluxe replica belts. of the Intercontinental title. Fuck, I wish I knew how to pick their
Dude,
fucking garbage that day.
Yeah, dude.
I love the fucking IC belt, the white belt design. The new one, I love the way they fucking did that belt.
Throwing away a $400 belt really shows them.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
give me
I know,
four.
huh?
How about you just give me $400? I could use an Xbox One.
Yeah, really.
All right. Must live in.
relocate to New York City or Stamford, Connecticut.
Yeah, that's self-explanatory for the job.
I'm sure Jim Cornette would give you a lovely opinion about the relocating to Stanford.
Oh, God.
Gosh, I know the stories. I know the stories.
Well, here's the funniest part to me, especially since I have personal experience with this.
Kissing a man open hung on the mouth.
A BS in film, TV, drama, and media studies.
I got some BS for you.
Which
Yeah, I got
if
some
you know,
BS.
if you're familiar with what they're looking for, creative right. It's funny that they call it a BS degree because that's exactly what it is. Bullshit. Because creative writing is just as useless as an art history degree or a gender studies degree.
Didn't Penn and Teller do a BS episode about getting a creative writing degree?
I think so, yeah.
I know they gotta bring that show back and do an episode about gender studies because it's not that hard. You're either a guy or a girl.
Yeah.
Yay, politicalness.
How hard is it to say, okay, men have penises, women don't. Women get pregnant, men don't. There you go. There's your gender studies.
Congratulations, you just got an A+. See,
Oh,
here at
boy.
Hastly Kayfabe, we teach you.
Yeah.
Well, this episode's never going to get monetized ever.
Teach you what? I'm not sure, but
Teach you what? I'm not sure.
Let me tell you something
I
about
like-
that monetization. Who gives a shit about monetization?
I'm joking, John.
Because here's the thing. The last thing I need is on this show is to see 90,000 for the marks to see 90,000 Honda commercials as they're trying to watch this show.
Dude, I'm joking. I'm not going to monetize this. I haven't about as much shot of any of these videos getting monetized as any of my Pathfinder campaigns getting monetized on my personal channel. None.
You watch YouTube and that's all you see. Honda commercials. It's like, that's how you not get me to buy your product.
So, in other words, you ended up on a Honda site at one point.
Why do you think no one likes Roman Reigns? Because they don't shut up about him.
Because they shove him down our throat, much like they shove a Honda down our throat.
There you go.
So yeah,
I have to see that fucking Christmas commercial one more goddamn time with Holiday Road. I'm gonna punch the fucking wall.
Am I like the only person that hasn't seen this commercial at all on?
Okay,
well that's because I have ad block on my shit.
No, I don't have ad block or anything like that.
But when you try to fucking watch a video on YouTube and it's that fucking same Honda commercial with Holiday Road playing in the background. Yeah, I get that shit every fucking video I try to watch.
I have never gotten this Honda commercial you're
talking about. That's the upside. See, this is the reason you should watch Hastly Kayfabe Recap. We will never have a commercial. Ever.
You don't have to worry about commercials.
You can just go straight
from Honda.
You can just go straight to the show.
The only commercials you might see every once in a while is for Blaze's House of Cox.
Oh yeah, speaking of commercials, I have to do one, by the way.
Go ahead while we make fun of people who got bachelors in science or arts in film, television, and drama.
I just checked it, so it's still active. Apparently, what's going around on Walmart.com is that WWE 2K18 for the Switch has a release date of January the 9th. And if you pre-order it right now, instead of paying the $60 for it, you get it for $41.
And that's
that's on the Switch. So
no. What retailer?
Walmart.
Oh, Walmart. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just said Walmart.
We just shared the picture to the group. Yeah.
Yeah, we just shared the picture. So. And by the way, they do charge you, even if you go pick it up at the store, they do charge you the authorization. So it's not like Amazon where you could just pre-order it. First of all, because with Walmart, you'll actually get it. And second of all, they actually charge you for the pre-order. So it's conflicting because on Walmart, when you go to the site, it says, oh, well, ships out on Wednesday, December 9th, and yet, I'm sorry, Wednesday, December 6th, and yet it says the date is on January 9th. So go figure.
All right, so yeah, that's the advertiser for anyone who's watching. There you go, $41.
Holiday roll.
Okay, that was funny.
All right, so yeah, just to end it real quick, flexible travel schedule, excellent in communication skills, and a bachelor's in science or arts in film, TV, drama, media studios, communication or a similar field of industry experience, blah, 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 blah.
Actually, you need excellent communication skills because how are you going to be able to understand Bucky Beaver through those teeth of his?
You have to keep pushing Alicia Fox.
But she sucks in the ring. She nearly killed Asuka 3 times.
You know what's funny about mentioning Alicia Fox is someone that I know actually will promote the shit out of her because she has the best Northern Lights suplex ever.
Everything else she does wrong.
I know that.
Yeah, she has the best.
Every time she does an axe kick, it's like she's gonna kill someone. I cringe. When she sets up for that fucking axe kick, I fucking cringe.
I honestly cannot wait, especially since we're talking about sexual harassment so much. I honestly can't wait until Alicia Fox gets fired and starts going on about fucking Kevin Dunn. And then Kevin Dunn will get fired.
And then we go to the streets and dance.
Like
but then they'll hire someone else from television that doesn't know the wrestling business.
Maybe somebody from NXT.
WWE fired Jim Johnson.
Yeah, we need to talk about that.
Yeah, I was say this is the same company that fired Jim Johnson.
To be fair, they did. It wasn't a firing. It was a. They decided not to renew their contract, but they did let him go, and that was not. Yeah. I'm not the biggest fan of
who do all their new shitty generic music.
Oh, CFOs.
Yeah.
The bad part, and I actually found out that the name is pronounced CFO Money, which is even worse.
CFO Money, really?
Is that no? Here's the worst part of this. Not only is the music being handled by them going forward,
they're editing the older music.
They want to redo all the old music.
Why? The old music's iconic.
Let me tell you something. Isn't it bad enough to watch the WWE Network and watching Rude Steam get edited out for that generic shit they use for the whole of
So I guess now we know why.
Yeah.
Because Jim Johnson made it.
But the old music is iconic.
Well, here's the thing. There was a while back. Does anybody remember the issues with some of the songs that were coming out from that some of the music was being edited out in other places because Jim Johnson wasn't the guy that was doing it?
Mm-hmm.
Who was the other guy that was doing the music at the time?
Jimmy Hart.
Jimmy Hart. Now, Jimmy's now kind of in their good graces, but at the same time, it's kind of stupid that they did that anyway.
Yeah, but
occasionally you still do get the British version of the Wheel of Fortune theme when Dusty Rhodes comes out every so often.
Yeah, but the difference is Jimmy Hart worked for the opposing company, so
yes, he did. Now,
the one good thing about getting back in good graces with Jimmy Hart too, I don't know if you guys follow the Spotify albums that they do or not. They actually recently released about 3 albums of the music that Jimmy Hart's composed that has, oh my God, Nick Nolte looks like fucking a homeless man. Holy shit.
Yeah, well,
Sorry,
we know that.
I just got completely thrown off. I
don't understand who looks worse, him or Gary Busey.
No, Nick Nolte is worse because they did a what was that stupid thing I saw on Facebook? It was like Pokemon evolutions in real life.
Oh God!
And the middle form was Gary Busey,
and it turned into Nick Nolte.
And then it turned into Nick Nolte. Yeah.
Oh God!
Just like Sarah Jessica Parker turned into a horse.
No, she's Rapidash.
No, yeah, she was Rapid. I forget who the first was. I thought it was like Taylor Swift or some shit like that, turning into Sarah Jessica Parker. Anyway,
We're nerds. Fuck
But
you.
unfortunately, this also means that you mentioned Spotify. You know those Uncaged albums?
Yeah, they're gonna stop them.
They're going to stop doing that because that was Jim Johnston's stuff.
So kids, go out there. You grab that Uncaged 4 to get that wickedly awesome version, the Doink's Heel theme. It's the only way to get it complete without the sound being compressed and it sounding like shit.
Or just do what I do and just download.
I would say
all
at least until someone puts it up on YouTube for about a
it's
week.
the only
Already
way
out
to
on
get the
YouTube,
complete. Yeah, it's the only way to get the complete heel version of Doink's theme.
Yeah, I gotta get those albums.
Oh, it's funny how going back. I know we're supposed to be talking about wrestling, but everybody's
talking about wrestling. We're supposed to be talking about 1996.
Well, we will in a second. I just want to laugh at something because everybody's
a couple songs in '96.
I was about to say because Bill Belichick apologized for Gronkowski's little running knee. Everybody's calling it the WWF move. I don't know why. Anyway. I think I just killed the show. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Anyway.
I keep hearing Eye of the Tiger and thinking Hulk Hogan's going to come out from somewhere.
Hey, there's rumors he might be back for the 25th anniversary.
He needs to be.
It's always beautiful watching Stallone knock out these brothers. Stallone, he comes in, he breaks this nigga's nose.
Jeez.
Oh, it's fucking beautiful. I love the fucking movie. All right, Rocco.
It's kind of fun.
Notice Italian guys think they're tougher after they watch Rocky.
Oh God.
They watch Rocky, yeah. I'm not gonna go into the Eddie Murphy bit. Some of us have more class than that.
20 years ago, the world was the world. Another New York coach, another New York football coach, was set to get fired out of a cannon. It's ironic.
When they went to, speaking of which, talking about '96, remember when they went to interview Rich Kotite and he was asleep in the general manager's
Yeah, that's
office?
what I was talking about. Another New York football coach of fan base was waiting to get fired out of a cannon. There's actually comparison pictures of Roach Kotite and Ben McAdoo out right now. Anyway. Hello?
Yeah,
I'm waiting on either on your epic intro or John's rant on this position.
Well, okay, John, let's go for your rant first before we go to 1996.
What?
No, finish. You're done. Say goodnight, Gracie. Go ahead, Ty.
But I already ranted, Ty. What are you talking about?
Oh.
Oh, well then.
Yeah, that's the rant about the BS degree, Ty.
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that was it?
That was it? I thought you had, like, more going. Anyway.
About it, so what's the point of going over the points again?
Well, good point. Anyway, 1996 was also another turning point in the year of wrestling. Where, well, let my co-host take over from here.
That's nice. I'm the one who came up with the topic, but I have no idea what to say.
Well, I originally said 1986, but 96 is a good year.
The only pay-per-view that anybody gives a shit about from 96 is Survivor Series.
Okay, I meant to say the original topic I said is 1986 because that was the end of the territories.
Well, that I actually give a shit about. 96, I don't give a fuck about.
All right, so 1986, yeah. Let me just...
86 is something we should take some time to prepare for.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because all right, so 86 is something we're going to prepare for.
Because we prepare for this show all the time.
Go ahead. Yes, exactly. I'm going to go ahead and just do a little bit of bullet points from 96. July 96, yay, NWO.
Well, there you go. We could talk about the rise and fall of the NWO, because that definitely was a turning point in wrestling.
The NWO was forced Vince McMahon to fucking get off of his ass and get creative again by letting fucking some idiot go ahead and do whatever the hell he wanted with his roster.
Okay, so yes. I'm changing the card now. We're now talking about the rise and fall of the NWO, since admittedly that was an actual major turning point in professional wrestling. and that we could all shoot off the top of our hips off.
By the way, to keep on the topic, I actually met Scott Hall at the airport at my job a couple weeks ago.
You mentioned that.
I got a 2 suite and everything.
Yeah, proper 2 suite from a proper person that's actually
Exactly.
should do it.
And not a young buck.
I got a 2 suite from him and his girlfriend. It's double fucking points. And his girlfriend showed off her fucking tattoo. When she threw up the wolf on each finger, she had an autograph from each guy.
Oh, interesting.
There you go.
Okie dokie. 1996 was the rise of the New World Order. Scott Hall and Kevin Nash came to the company and people thought WWE invasion was taking place.
Well,
Apparently, even WWE did because they sued him.
Yeah.
All you need to know about how bad WWE was in '96 was this. There was a show that was so bad that the power went out during the broadcast to prevent people from being exposed to that garbage. It had nothing to do with the fact there was a lightning storm. No, it was the fact that it was so bad.
Ah, boo. People shit on that fucking Michaels Bulldog feud for no reason. They had great matches. Yeah, maybe the story going into it was stupid.
Actually,
They
to
had
me,
great matches, though.
the Michael Bulldog match was actually probably the best match on that show. I'm talking about the
Yeah,
fact
but that's not saying much.
you also had such lovely matches as fucking Vader and Yokozuna.
And that
And
was a 5-star technical wrestling classic.
Savio Vega versus Steve Austin.
Oh, I hear Meltzer talking about that all the time.
And fucking Goldust versus The Undertaker.
In a casket match.
Which the only good part about that is it introduced Mick Foley to WWE audiences.
Mm-hmm.
But meanwhile, WCW was, well, let's admit, just as much in bad shape. It was considered the old folk form of wrestling with Hogan and Savage and pretty much a bunch of popular but former WWF guys running the roost. Or to say,
Credit
well,
has to be given, though, because they literally took what people thought about it and made it a storyline.
well, that is true.
People are saying, oh, all they do is use older guys, and then Hall and Nash show up, and hey, see, you got all these old codgers running around here, like the Huckster and the Nacho Man.
Yep.
And by the way, that Huckster Nacho Man match, I'm going to say something that some people might consider blasphemy, but I don't give a shit.
Well,
That Huckster Nacho Man match is better than the Bret Shawn ladder match, than the Bret Shawn Iron Man match.
though I'm going to disagree with you there because the Bret Shawn match does have one benefit.
Was that
Put it on and immediately fall asleep.
send all your hate mail to
I'm sorry, that match is extremely overrated.
Boring.
It's an overrated match.
I
And you want to talk about good matches with Shawn and Bret? Survivor Series 92.
Because here's the thing.
Yeah, that was a good match.
Because here's the thing. An hour-long match only works if you don't know it's going to be an hour long. If you know going into it, it's going to be an hour long. It's
It drags.
And the fact that it had no
Exactly.
pinfalls. There was no decisions during the fucking match.
Yeah. So they basically did a Broadway, but you knew it was going to be a Broadway before it even happened.
Yeah, but I was just about to say, like, the trick of the Iron Man match is you wait to see who gets pinned or who's forced to submit 1st. But there's no pinfalls, and the match had to go to overtime.
So a boring match got even more boring.
Yeah, congratulations.
And here's the thing. Now we have overdone pins with Iron Man matches. You have 5 or 6 pins on each side.
When you have a guy who's done freaking 5 decisions to 1, it's like, come on, really?
Like, there's
That's
10...
the last time Titan did a match. That was the Hardys and the Bar, no? The last time they did an Iron Man match?
Yeah, that's the last one.
We now even knows that those matches are boring because now when they do Iron Man matches, they cut it to a half an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, not to mention the fact that I don't think any of these fucking modern day wrestlers or even sports entertainers can actually do a 1 hour draw.
I'd be surprised if the Bucks can go past 20 minutes with all their fucking stupid shit that they do in their match.
I would say, I'm pretty sure that if you had Styles Cena for an hour, they could pull it off.
Well, look at the Styles Cena match at the Royal Rumble this year. They went what 40-something minutes with that?
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
That's why I
And
said
they
they could pull off an extra 15 minutes if they wanted to.
And they tore the fucking house
But at
down.
the same time, those two have actually worked 60 minutes before.
True.
Remember Orton's gay porn? The Orton Cena gay porn Iron Man
Even
match.
though it was literally, hey, you fall asleep for 10 minutes, I'll fall asleep for 10 minutes, and then the rest of the match, and then the fucking last 10 minutes of the match, then we'll actually wrestle.
Hey, it is an Iron Man match. You do it. The key thing of being an Iron Man is you gotta know how to pace yourself.
Yeah.
Just ask Ric Flair.
That is true.
Here's the thing.
Well, remember what Hogan said on the 30 for 30 special. He's like, Ric Flair's had thousands of fucking Broadways. He's like, I've had none.
But here's the thing also that's even more impressive. All these fucking guys back then and even now, all they care about is their physiques, working out their muscles. Ric Flair only needed to work out his cardio, and guess who was the better athlete?
That is true.
Not for nothing. I'd rather watch Ric Flair than about 99% of the fucking roster.
Ric Flair didn't need to do a power move or a body slam or a fucking press slam in the air and all that stupid shit.
If I had to,
that you find a bad Ric Flair match.
Which is really funny because when he first started, he was a power lifter.
Yeah.
And then he got his back broken.
If I had to pick between a bodybuilder and a more cardio-based athletic guy, I'm going to bet on the athletic guy because the cardio guy's going to burn up.
Look. Just take a look at real fights that involve grappling.
Well, that's what I meant.
Almost every single time you'll see the guy who actually wrestles or the guy who grapples. Look at fucking Hoist Gracie over Ken Shamrock.
Mm-hmm. Guess who won?
That's a great example.
And the only time that Hoist ever really got beat by somebody that actually had a decent physique was against Matt Hughes.
And that was because, let's be honest with each other, Hoist was in his fucking 40s at the time. You know?
I agree. But also Hughes also had the wrestling background. Yeah. So he could actually go against something like that compared to the shoot fighter that Ken Shamrock was at the time. And now Ken can barely last 3 minutes in a fight. So, you know.
Hey, let me tell you something. I met Ken a couple weeks ago at the fucking hotel. That guy, he's still, for his age, the guy looks phenomenal.
Oh yeah, he still looks phenomenal.
And
I give him mad respect.
I told my one manager, I'll give you $5 if you go pick a fight with that old guy in the corner of the bar. He's like, fuck you, that's Ken Shamrock.
Yeah, I mean, there was a reason why he was called the world's most dangerous man at one point.
Mm-hmm. I even told him, I was like, you know how much money I made off of you with those fucking 7 fight? And he left.
Oh boy, it's like walking up to some dude now and say, "Hey, I bet you $20 to go punch Mike Tyson in the face."
Mm-hmm. Although I feel robbed because as a fucking preteen, I always want. Even now, I wish we would have seen a fight between Ken Shamrock and Mike Tyson.
Oh God! Who? Oh God!
Shamrock would have eaten Tyson alive.
But we're thinking Tyson.
Shamrock would have eaten Tyson alive.
Well, even
Tyson would have hit him. Yeah. That's a difference.
I'm gonna say I'm talking about custom model Tyson back when he was his absolute prime.
Exactly.
Well, I don't think that was ever going to happen anyway, because weren't those two from very different?
Well, yeah, they're different eras and different times. I'm thinking '90s Shamrock versus mid to late '80s Tyson.
Mid to late '80s Tyson.
Or you'd even say a fucking '96 Tyson, '96 Shamrock.
Well, that's true too.
Well, true. Once Tyson came out of jail, he beat people's ass like he just came out of jail until he ran into Evander.
When Tyson first came out of jail, he was beating people in like fucking a minute and a half.
Ooh, remember Peter McNeely?
I was just about to say that. Oh God. Oh, Hurricane McNeely is going to beat Tyson.
Tyson punched McNeely once. He fell into the ropes and fell forward. Where the hell? Tyson's back. And there were people who thought McNeely was going to win. That's the sad part.
Oh, McNeely's...
There were people out there that thought, McNeely's going to stand a chance.
I'm like, this dude just got out of prison. Are you sure about
He's gonna
that?
fucking eat you.
Well, at one point he
Oh,
almost
fun.
did. So
Oh god! I just saw they had a little clip of Tyson Kato.
Hmm.
No, the dude that quit in the third round. Though
Yeah.
once you actually found out how badly he was really fucked up, you kind of had to call the managers assholes. But at the time, you're like, oh my god, he quit in the middle of the ring. That's fucked.
Plus, also remember, there was a time then when they technically could have had it because Tyson, after he bit Holyfield, he lost his license.
Yeah.
yeah.
So it could have been done.
True.
But at that point, would any athletic commission
Anyone would have. Yeah. Would anyone have touched?
would anyone let him in? Would anyone let him do that?
Back then wasn't
Yeah.
still legal.
Hardly anyone would have touched that fight.
Yeah.
You know what's sad to say though? Even if they tried to do that shit today, people would still spend money on it. I'd fucking pay to watch it.
Yeah, but now they probably put on celebrity boxing on Fox.
Yeah, but now the question will be, because if you see the Ip Man 3 movie, you can see Tyson can still throw his punches as like pistons. I don't know if what you
What the
call
fuck
it.
is Tyson doing in Ip Man?
Oh, you didn't see Ip Man 3 when the fight with him?
no.
He had a
Is
fight
it
with
Eat Man
somebody.
3?
Yeah, he's the one that fights what you call it? Well, he's playing.
What's the
He's
Chinese guy? Whatever his fucking name is.
yeah,
That's really fucking specific. That's really gonna
specific.
Donnie Yen.
help. That's really gonna
Really?
help.
Oh, jeez.
Let me pull up the clip.
That's like a black guy shot someone in Newark. Yeah, that really helps.
Great.
Anyway.
Yeah.
All this
Anyway.
stuff still happened in '96, so we're still in the general.
Oh god.
This just shows how unimportant WWE was in '96.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm looking at the pay-per-view list, and it's covered in Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, and Bret Hart. There was only one main event in here that didn't involve either of them. And that was The Undertaker versus Mankind and Buried Alive in Your House 11. This is when they were trying to continue the push of the once a month pay-per-view thing where the in your houses in between the big events were supposed to be cheaper back then. They were supposed to be like $30 as opposed to $50 or something like that.
It was supposed to be for the pay-per-view, because I actually dug up my old cable bills about a couple years back. We were cleaning out the cellar. The pay-per-views back then were $24.95, and the in your houses were $12.95.
Oh wow. They were cheap. Yeah, that was the whole
I could
point.
have put this shit up on Facebook because I still remember showing Lewis the old cable bill I have from WrestleMania 7. That was $24.95, and yet WrestleMania on pay-per-view goes for fucking $70 now.
For the HD version.
And people wonder why people wonder why you go for the network.
Yeah.
You know? So, I mean, just looking at these, it's like Bret Hart versus The Undertaker. Bret Hart, here are the main events. Bret Hart versus The Undertaker. That was at the Rumble. Then we have In Your House 6.
Let's talk about what happened after the match where Diesel basically flipped off the bird. Which is exactly what the fans felt about that company.
That's what they felt about Diesel's title run.
Yeah. Let's see here. Bret Hart versus Diesel at In Your House 6.
That was actually pretty decent. That was a cage match, no?
Yeah, that was a cage match where the
pulled him
ending
under.
was Taker pulling Diesel underneath the ring.
See, we remember stuff about '96. Your idea wasn't totally useless, buddy.
Well, that's because I meant to say 86.
One thing. How the hell did they get a fog machine under the ring?
Fog machines aren't that big.
The same way Warrior was able to disappear in the ring and practically ruin Davey Boy's life.
A trapdoor?
His fucking trapdoor at Fall Brawl.
Let's see here. Then we had WrestleMania 12, which had the aforementioned Boar Fest of Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels in the Iron Man
The
match.
real main event of that show was Piper and Goldust.
Piper.
Oh, the back alley brawl.
Back alley
That
brawl.
was the real main event of that show.
Just
that
remember
they
one
that they
thing.
taped 3 days earlier.
Hey, they knew what they had to put on.
That Hollywood backlot brawl was originally supposed to be O.J. Simpson.
Oh,
Yeah, it was
gosh.
supposed to be OJ versus Piper. Yeah, Pritchard actually talked about it. It was supposed to be OJ
but that's
versus
Pritchard.
Piper.
That's
It
Pritchard.
was supposed to be OJ versus Piper, and literally Piper was like, "If you put me in there with Simpson, I'm gonna beat the shit out of him."
Mm-hmm.
And that wouldn't surprise me.
And the crowd, and the crowd, and the
Like you
crowd,
said, though, that was Pritchard.
and the
Another
crowd would
thing
have
that
cheered.
And another thing, though, remember, it was supposed to be Hall versus Goldust in the Miami street fight.
Yeah.
But Hall said he wasn't wrestling no faggot, which is so classy of him to say.
Yes. Let's see
But then
here.
again, who the hell would want to get in the ring with Darren Young anyway?
Oh, the other ones.
Duh.
So,
Hey, it could be worse. It could be Orlando Jordan.
Oh, God.
but his characters got weird.
That was just that.
No, that's what happens when your character is written under Vince Russo.
Just remember,
Yeah.
he came to the ring during a Rob Terry match and started rubbing baby oil on himself,
Mm-hmm.
where John asked to be excused for some reason.
Nope.
In Your House 7. Some of these titles are so stupid. They started adding titles to these In Your Houses at that point.
Like, please
And
care.
by the way, some could also say that Beware of Dog was cursed because remember it was originally supposed to be a Vader pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Yeah, then they
Vader
pushed. Well, at the same time that what was the shit that was going on between Michaels and Vader?
That didn't happen until SummerSlam.
No, but they were still
Exact-
having problems even back then.
Yeah, I was gonna say the whole
He didn't
shit
want to put over the WCW guy, that little shit. I love Sean as an in-ring reformer, but man, he was a fucking piece of shit sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, shit, he was that way for at least 2 years till his back finally gave out.
But remember, now we have to forgive him because he found Jesus.
I could find Jesus too. That guy cuts my lawn every 2 weeks.
There you go. No.
There you go. So,
Oh, boy.
although there was something odd about this. I guess there was a Goldust versus Undertaker match that happened 2 days later.
And by the way,
What, for the Beware Dog?
Yeah.
Here's the thing. When the lights went out, 3 matches went on with no power. One of them was the Goldust Undertaker casket match.
Yeah.
And they just redid it again. Because remember, as an apology, they did Beware of Dog 2 like that Tuesday.
at a Superstars tape.
Yeah, at a Superstars taping. And they fucking actually gave that pay-per-view for free.
Mm.
To
Okay,
make up for the fact that everything.
that's right. I remember hearing something about that at one
Yeah,
point.
they actually did that pay-per-view for free.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. See, the WWE actually had fucking customer service at that point in time. Too bad they couldn't make up for it with their matches.
Yeah, too bad the
Let's
matches
see
weren't
here.
worth shit.
Let's see here. King of the Ring, which was the
By the way,
start.
We
Which
need
is
to
the end
stress
of the-
one thing. Just remember that one of the storylines was actually where fucking Diana Hart was so naive, or so full of herself, I should say, that she actually thought Shawn Michaels wanted her. That any man wanted her to be exempt.
Her robotic Sean. I know you want me.
Well, to
Diana
be honest,
was-
I gotta admit, Diana's become fuckable in recent years.
What?
Yes. You look at a picture of Diana Hart now, she's totally fuckable.
All right.
But back then, no.
I'll give you and your Photoshop pictures a moment.
He wants Photoshop pictures of
We
Davey
still gotta find a reason.
in the buff.
Oh boy.
So we finally get to King of the Ring, which is Michaels versus Bulldog 2, and then we have
The
In your
highlight
hou-
of that match, perfect, was the referee.
No. The highlight of King of the Ring in general was
Lawless
Jerry
promo.
King Lawler versus
Lawless
the Ultimate
promo on the
Warrior.
way to the ring. Hey, you got off of the street corner to be here tonight. Isn't that great? What, your daughter's taking over for you?
No, what was even better was the one at SummerSlam with Jake. We got to talk about that.
Oh, God, yeah. We'll get when we get to
Oh,
SummerSlam.
jeez.
We're only a couple
Okay.
pay-per-views away.
It's not that far off because we have In Your House 9 International Incident, which is, before the next
That was the
international
six-man
incident.
tag when Warrior got fired and they just popped Sid in there.
Yeah, it was Michael, Sid, and Ahmed Johnson versus Vader, the Bulldog, and Owen Hart. And then we have SummerSlam in Cleveland, Ohio, which was Michaels versus Vader.
Everyone knows the wonderful story behind that match.
And just remember, apparently they fed Jake actual liquor instead of iced tea.
Oh boy.
Yeah, during that match, Mark Henry was out there doing his commentary spill. And the entire time, Perfect and Lawler are fucking cracking alcoholic jokes about Jake. You can actually hear Henry laughing while he's on commentary. And Vince is like, that stuff is not funny. You shouldn't be laughing about that. And Henry got all tons of heat because he was supposed to be a face. And you could literally hear Henry cracking up during the match for every one of those fucking jokes that they shot.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
So it was literally Lawler and fucking Perfect fucking with the new kid.
There we go. And there's another one. So you can compare.
John just sent dick pics to the chat. Don't bother to look.
Says Diana Hart now. She doesn't look half bad.
So now you call it Diana Hart. You sick, sick man.
So I don't know.
So what else is going on with SummerSlam? Not much.
Oh, Michael's throwing a shit fit and Vader winning the match 3 times via different means. Only get restarted every time because Michaels didn't want to do the job. So they had Jim Cornette restart the match 3 times, I guess just to stick it to Michaels.
Like, you are losing, motherfucker.
And then fucking... it's funny because let's go back to Starrcade 93 a second. When fucking Flair fought Vader. And Harley kept telling Rick, you need to hit him back.
Yeah.
And Rick actually learned his lesson. Shawn, fucking Vader hit Shawn because Vader's stiff. Shawn just stood there and crying.
Then again, they had the manliest fight in wrestling history. If you've heard Road Warrior Hulk tell this story on the RF video Road Warrior shit.
Oh, jeez.
They look like 2 bitches rolling around on the floor pulling each other's hair. Brett and Shawn. And Cornette's told this story on The Experience, where Shawn walked into Vince's office with a clump of hair and slammed it down on the desk. Work conditions. Faggots.
Jeez.
You see why it's a good thing there's a such thing as wrestler's court?
Oh God.
So speaking of clumps of hair, then we go on to Mind Games, which is Michaels versus Mankind.
That is Mick Foley for years, until he had the only good match Borton ever had as Cactus versus Borton for the IC title at Backlash. That Mind Games match was Mick's favorite fucking match in his career.
Although, wasn't that the one with the ECW guys in the front row?
Yeah, the ECW guys were there, and they got thrown out for spitting beer at Savio. See, we remember stuff, Ty. Your topic wasn't useless. You should be proud.
Like I said, it meant to be 1986, though.
One big thing about King of the Ring 96.
What's that, buddy?
A certain bald-headed son of a bitch.
Oh, that guy who doesn't measure up to Hogan and then
Which all could have been avoided if the curtain call never happened. I'm surprised we're not talking about that.
Well, who cares? It was the being selfish fucks.
We're going to have to once we flip to WCW because, well, you can't talk about...
What was it? It was the clique being selfish.
It was.
Well, true.
What was the clique being selfish?
True. And that's eventually got Hunter in trouble because Shawn was too...
talked about because, remember, that was supposed to be Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
Hunter was supposed to win the King of the Ring 96.
If they would have never did the curtain call, Austin would have never got over.
And that would have been... And Austin...
Damn you, Hunter. And damn the curtain call.
Because then that would have been... You have never got the birth of Austin 316. And Austin probably would have been just another throwaway talent.
Yep. And also, one thing we need to talk about '96 for sure is the signing of Brian Pillman.
All
Oh, and a
right.
wonderful promo that he cut when he was
Yeah.
being at King of the Ring. I'm glad Jeffrey Dahmer tried to eat every one of you people.
Remember his press conference when he got signed?
Oh boy.
The expletive laden fucking thing.
I'm going to rape and pillage this entire promotion.
Oh
Pillman
god.
was the
Right.
man.
Oh, great.
Pillman was the fucking man.
Was it? It was 97. It was 97 when we got Pillman got a gun, if I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 97.
Yeah, that was 97.
That was 97. Yeah.
But fucking Pillman, man, oh.
Oh wow.
I have a 2-disc set of fucking Mayfield's. MayfieldMemories.com. He did a fucking loose cannon collection of everything from the loose cannon gimmick.
I know he sold this stuff to somebody. I forget who.
My man, if you can get your hands on that set, I have it. I'll
Like
send you
if
pictures.
like Pillman, Owen, like my top two wrestlers of they were gone too soon. If there was another universe where they would have been alive to this day, at least
Man,
Owen.
Pillman was healthy.
Oh,
If
Pillman was
healthy when he
if
got
Pillman
to
was
WWE.
if Pillman was healthy, he'd be in the Hall of Fame right now. If Owen was healthy,
If
He-
Pillman didn't pull a stumpy and break his ankle again,
like
It was
if
that fucking car accident though.
yeah.
like
He broke the car.
if Owen didn't have that stunt accident, I think he'd be a multiple-time world champion at least. At least
Oh,
that's my
and
personal
Still,
opinion.
they would have taken advantage of it at some point. Yeah, absolutely.
I just need to state for the record that in the background here we're watching Rocky 4, and when it's at the Drago fight with Apollo, and it's ironic because we're talking about '96, and yet you could sit there and say that Apollo was the WWE and Drago was WCW.
Oh God, that is definitely true.
That's definitely true.
Except you had no one yelling. You did have Duke yelling, "Throw the damn towel!" Thanks for getting to the joke I was trying to crawl my way to.
Yeah, we
Throw
did.
in the damn towel.
We did. We had Ted Turner's accountants
Yeah.
when they saw the checks they were writing.
That was the WCW.
That was
Ted-
Yeah, that's what we're
stuff.
saying. Go
So-
back. They're online. What Hogan was making in 96, 97. You can find them online. It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just remember, Lanny Poffo was signed for 6 figures, and he never
Yes.
made one appearance for them.
Yes, he did.
So yeah, now
Because he was because if you listen to, he was supposed to get the Gorgeous George gimmick
Yeah.
because Savage actually owned it at that point.
Now I'm picturing Duke Evers in his suit. Well, okay, he is in a suit normally, yelling at Ted Turner to throw in the damn towel.
But I mean, Lanny went all out, bleached blonde hair, shaved the mustache, all that, and then nothing ever happened. But at
And
least
Lanny was just sitting there for the whole contract, just practicing sucking his own dick.
Hey, pay me 6 figures. I'll do anything. I'll happily sit in my ass for 6 figures.
And the fact that Lanny never did a porno, that's a shame right there.
Just remember, we now have proof. It is now recorded proof that John Silva wants to see a porno with Lanny Poffo.
I'm just saying he can
Not
make a lot
too
of
late.
money
It's
doing
already
that
there.
shit.
It's already there. It's
He can
caught in
make a lot
time.
of money doing that shit.
It's on the interwebs. It'll be there forever.
So in 1996 was also the end of the run of Scott Hall and Kevin Nash, who of course we did touch on the curtain call.
Well, technically, it was the end of the run of Scott Hall, of Razor Ramon and Diesel.
Of Razor Ramon and Diesel, my mistake.
No, it wasn't, because later on in the year, we would get
Oh,
fake
right.
Razor, fake Diesel.
We would get
And
fake
Glenn
Razor,
Titan
fake
and
Diesel.
Glenn Jacobs.
Yeah.
Glenn Jacobs if Glenn Jacobs doesn't have a Hall of Fame spot waiting for him the day he retires for all the shit he went through before he became Kane, then I have no faith in him.
Well, think about it this way: if Glenn wins the mayor spot in May, who knows? He might just retire.
Well, he might have. He'll have to. He won't have time to do a politics and road career in WWE.
And then sub Jesse Ventura.
That's-
Remember, Jesse Ventura was mayor of Brooklyn Park when he worked for WCW.
Yeah, but it's not like Jesse was on the road working. He was just a commentator.
No, but he would still show up at the shows.
Well, he'd show up at the shows, but he was long retired from in-ring performing for the longest time at that
Yeah,
point.
we're talking about in-ring performance.
Well, how about Hagar? He still wrestled and he was mayor of whatever, of Metro.
There you go.
Well, Hager's a badass, so
Hager's a very
That's also
Mike
the theme
Hager's
of
a very
manhood.
different story.
hey, that's usually
So
the theme.
this
That's
is
usually the
like-
theme. That's usually the theme of the show.
Mike Hagar's theme is the theme of manhood.
Oh shit!
What's that?
I'm watching this in HD. I just noticed for the first time
Well,
that fucking belt they always fight for in the Rocky movies is the ring heavyweight title.
you never noticed that till now?
Yeah, I never seen the logo on the belt till now.
Yeah, something new every day. All right, so let's get into this. We've been holding back long enough. Yes, and WCW was in bad straits until in the summer where it happened. It being the hostile takeover at Bash at the Beach. It being the
The angle
outsiders.
that Eric Bischoff stole. The angle that Eric Bischoff stole from the war promotion in Japan.
Yes. Let's not. You know what? Here, we know that this was the NWO was ripped off piece by piece from Japan.
And remember, also 1996 was also the year of that infamous 20-year contract that led to the screw job with Bret Hart.
Was it a 20-year contract or a 10-year contract?
20-year.
20-year deal here.
20 years.
Yeah.
I'm
It's like,
surprised.
there's no way I can do this. Yeah.
Yeah, for 20 years, if I was told you could do that for 20 years, I'm like, dude, how am I even supposed to know I'm going to be here for 20 years?
Mark Henry had a 10-year long contract at one point.
Oh.
Yeah.
And that's why Bret didn't come back until November.
Because he was still contracted to turn it to at the eventually Time Warner.
The Windows contracts have been bought out by.
Time Warner. That's why I was about to say Turner. Then Turner got bought by Time Warner and AOL. So
Yeah.
So what I'm saying
But-
is that's why Bret was gone from WrestleMania up until Survivor Series because he didn't have a contract.
They were negotiating that deal,
That deal, yeah.
which Vince ended up taking from him.
Mhm.
Oh, sorry, pal.
Basically said, I can't afford it if you can go somewhere and take the deal. He literally told Bret, take the deal from Turner.
Get the hell out of here. I'm tired of you putting yourself over your cousins and your brother.
Mhm.
Speaking of this is something that I was listening to a while back. I know we're getting off of 96 again. Have you heard the shit about Teddy Hart saying that he and his the current Hart family running the whole wrestling show? If
When
Bret
it comes to Teddy Hart, everything that comes out of his name comes out of his last name. His anus. Anything that comes out of that guy's mouth
yeah,
comes from his last name.
So much so that they did a breaking kayfabe with him, which is supposed to be where you drop the gimmick and talk like a normal fucking human being. And he couldn't talk like a normal human being for fucking 5 minutes without going back into being Teddy Hart.
I don't think he can. I don't think there is such a thing with him because I mean, as he said, he makes more money, selling cats apparently. But of course, that could be a euphemism for something. I don't know. Anyway, I thought that shit was just like, what?
Idiot that wanted to make a wrestling promotion with cats.
Leave
They
him
wanted to
alone.
teach cats to wrestle.
I think that's the weed talking at that point.
yeah, apparently.
When you realize that Nick and Nate Diaz make more sense than Teddy Hart, and you know how much THC is in their blood
You know who
content.
makes much more sense than Teddy Hart? Hitler.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
Damn, dude, that's dark.
Because at least Hitler actually had some good ideas.
Yeah, and he's also a mass murderer.
Exactly.
Well,
Oh, isn't this cute?
he had the Kraftwerk de Voideragen.
So here's a funny tweet before we go back on subject from Piss Coughlin on Twitter. He's responding to this. Ben McAdoo, I'm going to coach this team as long as my key card works. Piss Coughlin, change the locks.
Jeez.
This motherfucker got fired yet?
Let me actually check. I don't think he has yet. Though I'm surprised none of those Giants fans who actually went out to Oakland to cheer on for Peyton Manning didn't bring a sniper rifle. Derek Carr went to Eli Manning after the game, not Geno Smith.
This just goes to show you that Elias is delusional.
How so?
I just sent a picture.
Yeah, I saw.
Oh, let me see it real
No,
quick.
it tells you that the fan who made that sign is delusional.
This all could have been avoided if instead of the ball, they actually threw a piece of fried chicken around in the field.
Oh,
Then Geno
God.
Smith would have actually been able to fucking throw actual passes.
Yeah, but who would catch it?
The other players on the team.
What players you have? All your wide receivers on the injured list.
Everyone loves KFC.
Sniggity diggity.
Well, there we go. Oh
I think
boy.
that's all we got for 96 was not exactly.
Well, for WWE, remember, we still have to talk about this.
For crying out loud, half the time that they were trying to do in WCW, at least for Hogan, remember that was Kevin Sullivan. Kevin Sullivan was specifically there to make sure that Hogan looked good.
There's one.
That was what the whole Dungeon of Doom thing was.
What's that?
Ahmed Johnson.
Tony Martin.
I was about to say, that's right. He was Intercontinental Champion at one point, wasn't he?
That fat slob Tony Martin. I think that's what Ron Simmons called him.
That fucking fat slob Tony Martin.
The ride.
Until that fucking guy got a boo-boo in his kidney because of quote-unquote elevated enzymes.
Oh, is that what they call it?
Mm-hmm. Which I'm sure is because of all the steroids he took.
Oh, sure.
As soon as he stopped taking the roids, he ballooned up to 400 pounds.
Yeah, he got huge. He did get huge. Remember when he actually came back into wrestling? I think it was Big T.
Yeah,
Big T.
Oh God, Big T, and they had a match between him and Booker T over the initial T.
And it didn't work out very well, did it?
And Booker and Ahmed, whatever you want to call him, won.
I was going to say, Booker put him over.
Yeah, I was about to say that. So Booker had to be just called Booker. While Big T was called Big T, and apparently that clearly went over like a fart in church. Because everybody knows Booker T as Booker T. I'm just waiting for this.
And then they finally brought in Ron Simmons, and they couldn't figure out what to do with him. So they said, "Well, we have another black guy on our roster. Let's have him feud with the other black guy." And then when they got more black guys in, well, let's just put them together.
Was 96 the year the nation was founded?
I think near the end of it.
Near the end of it, or the beginning of 97.
Let me check to make sure. Ironically enough, out of the whole WWE Gang Wars, they're the only ones that you can consider successful.
And the best part about that whole thing, about the whole nation thing, was when somebody mysteriously spray painted KFC on the block.
Yep, the inaugural nation started in 1996, though this was with Clarence Mason, Crush, and Savio Vega.
Oh, yeah, that Johnny Cochran ripoff.
Yes.
Yeah, the inaugural nation was started in 96, and then the nation we know as started a year later.
Yeah.
I just want to know who the hell was booking that shit to the point that during the Shawn match, that they actually, not only the fact that they thought that Diana actually wanted him, but the fact that when that match started, we're going to give you a summons live in the middle of the ring.
Psst.
Alienation of affection.
Oh
Because
boy.
that's not even Diana's fantasy of Michaels wanted anything to do with her.
yeah,
She would masturbate to Michaels, and even in her dreams, Michaels go, "Nope."
Oh, but well, there's one. Well, even though obviously we can't talk about the Nation and Graham because the Nation we know it as
And
starting
then
next
also, we
year.
gotta also talk about Sonny. That's 96 as well.
True. Let me just run down real quick. Let's remember the Nation is the most successful of the WWE Gang Wars because you have 2 former world champions and 3 Hall of Famers, at least in the incarnation most people know.
Oh, that's right, Ron Simmons.
Yeah, Ron
and
Simmons,
The Rock.
and The Rock, Hall of Famers, and The Rock and Mark Henry, former world champions. Well, technically, oh my bad. If you count
That's
WCW,
right.
I'm about to say if you count WCW, you count Farouk as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, 3 former world champions, 2 Hall of Famers. I'm just waiting for the day D'Lo gets some recognition.
Wait, didn't The Rock go in the Hall of Fame yet?
Not yet.
No, not yet.
No, Rock's not in there. No. Well, no. Wait. Then
I
who's?
wonder how many.
Yeah, Godfather and
Oh yeah, Godfather, right?
Godfather and Farouk are the only 2 in. Well, Ron Simmons.
I keep forgetting they let in Godfather for some reason. Doesn't D'Lo work for him now?
Well, D'Lo works for the Godfather as one of his people at his strip club.
Yeah.
So we're getting ready to discuss Sunny, the original diva.
What do you mean? You mean Sean's girl?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yep. Sonny, what the hell happened? There you go. She farts during her porno. That fucking Mark from Kayfabe Commentary never shuts up about that.
Yeah.
Oh God.
You know that fucking guy actually wrote a book.
I'm an asshole. That's what he should call it anyway.
Yeah, he did write a book.
Oh boy.
Okay, you know what we should do with Sonny though. In all seriousness, you ever go to the bank sometimes and they have this container like, guess how many candies are in here, win a prize.
Oh no.
Guess how many dicks have been in here?
Like, yeah, for Sonny's like, guess how many dicks did she have?
I thought she already explained all that.
No, that was
Well,
Missy
she did
Hyatt.
do. No, she did do the U shoot.
Because that was also Missy Hyatt too.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Missy's another.
Missy is an interesting
Fucking woman
woman.
sues the company for sexual harassment. Yet she's on a U shoot 20 years later comparing the size of wrestlers' dicks.
Maybe she was approached by the wrong guy. I don't know.
It couldn't have been that much sexually harassed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
Maybe that was the one dick she didn't want. I don't know.
There you go. John, you should know about rejecting dick. Well, you should.
There you.
It doesn't matter that we could also, there's also suggestions that Brett had some sunny days too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
Which she has vehemently denied.
Hmm.
But she said that she's fucked Davy Boy. So
I'm about to say that's one of those comes that comes with a yeah, but.
Exactly, because think about it. If you had Diana Hart from 1996, back to back with Sunny from 1996, who would you rather screw?
Well, that's a no-brainer.
Exactly. That's like Bill Clinton with Monica Lewinsky. See Hillary's ugly ass. Who would you have sex with?
Poof.
Something
Hillary
higher
was
standards.
15
Something.
adult. Huh?
Something higher standards. Something. You cannot
Something like that.
You cannot put Monica Lewinsky in the same category
Planet.
as Sunny circa 1996.
I was like planet, universe, light dimension as Sunny 96. Think that's
although apparently Lewinsky has Diana Hart syndrome now.
Yeah, because she's fucking hot as shit now. If you look at her, I was greatly impressed.
Mm-hmm. I don't know which doctor did her titties, but damn.
Oh boy.
So is that all we got for 96, or?
Other than talking about the Hogan heel turn.
Well, in a way, well, also just remember, 96 was also the death of their final death of their syndication.
Yeah, that was when Superstars got ended.
Oh
Yep.
yeah.
The USA Network.
The end of syndication television.
And it became a highlight show.
Yeah, we wouldn't get.
96 was more a low light show.
Yeah.
Yeah, we wouldn't get a proper syndicated wrestling. We wouldn't get a proper syndicated wrestling show to when this SmackDown debut.
Well,
that
no,
wasn't syndicated. That was still network.
that was still network. But wouldn't you count Shotgun Saturday Night?
Yeah, that you should count. Yes.
That
was
and
syndicated.
as much crap as that was. I mean, but we have to thank Shotgun Saturday Night for one thing: the birth of the New Age Outlaws.
That is true.
The fucked up part about it is, especially if you lived in the New York area, very few people got the fucking show.
Because very few channels carried it at 1 in the morning.
Yeah, it was like at midnight or 11 or 1 in the morning.
Here in New York, we got on 55, and most cases, especially
a lot of spots in Jersey didn't get fucking Shotgun Saturday Night.
So unless you had cable and a miracle, you couldn't watch it.
No, not every cable station had it.
No, actually, no, it's the reverse. My bad. You actually needed rabbit ears to watch Shotgun.
Yeah. You needed rabbit ears. It wasn't a cable show. I think I remember over here it was on KCOP for however long it was, which is our channel 13, which is.
Wasn't KCOP that fucking station that had Pro Wrestling This Week too?
Oh, apparently, fucking Jinder beat Hunter.
Wait, what?
Apparently, Jinder beat Hunter.
I'm shocked.
The golden we knew it. He couldn't bring the golden shovel through customs.
He probably couldn't because he's like, well, shit. Now what do I do?
Oh my God, Reed's alive. We thought you left the show. We left you.
I was eating dinner.
But oh my God.
Well, you heard it here first. Well, you'll probably hear it long after the show goes on the air. Jinder beat Hunter.
Jinder has beaten the man with 3 H's. Will wonders never cease to amaze us?
All right, so we'll probably do a full proper episode of 1986 as well as the NWO.
We sound so thrilled.
Yeah. Well, we know that eventually there's going to be one of the Attitude Era, so I know Lou's looking forward to that one.
Oh, I'm sure we're looking forward to a rant from Lou on that
well,
one.
Well, that is a turning point in
because that's right around the time I gave up on WWE.
Yeah, that is a quote unquote turning point in wrestling.
I gave up on him right after that double pin with Kane and Undertaker, and I think that was what 98.
By the way, for those of you who watch anime, God, wasn't last night's super episode fucking awesome?
Oh, the only thing I can say without saying any spoilers is 2 of them. That's all I'm gonna say.
2 balls?
That's what you like.
So thank you everyone for watching the rebirth of Hastly Kayfabed Recap, even though we like...
The reincarnation!
Yes. I think there's a pay-per-view in 2 weeks, so next week will be our Tale of Behind the Tape episode.
That's nice. Fuck if we know if there's a show, but if there is, great. If there's not, whatever.
Let me actually check.
I'm checking the schedule.
Hey, check this out. Access TV announces 3-hour Wrestle Kingdom 12 special.
Yeah,
so the one match that everyone cares about is going to be on Access.
It's always been on Access. It's just that they're getting 3 hours of the. What is it? Wrestle Kingdom's usually what, an 8-hour to 10-hour show? It's huge.
All you need to know is that you can go to sleep while watching it.
But this is coming from Sports Center.
What?
New York Giants general manager Jerry Reese is standing with the team is also shaking, according to sources. though any timing on his departure, his potential departure is more uncertain than McAdoo's. But it's all been confirmed that McAdoo will officially be fired tomorrow morning.
Where
We actually got a prediction right.
You got a prediction right.
Where is it?
Next,
SportsCenter just put that up on Facebook.
What's
and in another news, Clash of Champions is on the 17th, so it's not for.
It is 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's 2 weeks.
Giants could fire coach Ben McAdoo in 24 hours.
Can I just also say next year is gonna suck for SmackDown?
How so?
Suck?
They only got 4 pay-per-views. Raw's got 5, and then of course we got the big 4.
Well, that there's always the trade-off. That just always happens. They do trade off one after the other. So the year after that it'll be 5 SmackDown, 4 Raw.
Like Ben says he'll coach the Giants as long as my key card works. Ben loses the rails. Ben McAdoo in limbo. Ben says, "Let me go to YouTube." I'm sorry. Let me go to Google. But you know what I mean.
And one other thing before we sign off, was it you, Lou, who liked that new version, the possible new version of the U.S. title?
I actually really liked it. Yeah.
I agree. I think there needs to be a little more gold in it than it has. But
I really like, but now they're saying that was just a belt that someone made in the belt creator of 2K, and they had an idiot working for the company to put that in there.
Yeah, but at the same time,
it's a nice looking belt. It looks nice. I like it.
Yeah, well, I mean, here's the thing about that particular title belt. Remember that the Intercontinental title belt in WWF at the time and in WCW at the time, the U.S. title belt were fairly similar as well. They had that plate on plate kind of design. So it was kind of.
If you look at the old U.S. belt from like '88, it looks just like the Intercontinental title, but the strap was red.
Yeah,
the strap was red, and it didn't have the black coloring behind the lettering like the WWE version did.
Right. So I think that'd be an interesting title to have. Now, the only thing about that is the only thing I don't like about the current Intercontinental title is that I think the belts are too small. That may be just the people wearing them also, but I think that the belts
are shrunk.
You mean smaller?
Yeah, the belts have gotten smaller. I have noticed that.
Yeah. I mean, the world titles are bigger, or physically bigger than the mid card title.
Replica of one of those here, and it's about the size of the mid South North American belt.
Yeah. So
there are at least 3 Twitter accounts with Fire McAdoo as the name.
That
because the guy's a piece of shit. It's like I was telling Lewis, and I'm sure Lewis is the only one that got it so far. If you ever watch Hulk Hogan's Rockin' Wrestling, the space episode, McAdoo looks like Bernie.
He looks like who?
Bernie. The guy with the glasses.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, God.
Stupid sunglasses, just like McAdoo wears on the sidelines.
Because I'm a real toughie sunglasses.
Oh, boy.
You know, I have the card game from that cartoon.
Bernie?
Wait, they had a card game?
I own it.
Card game for what?
Rockin' Wrestling.
Rockin' Wrestling.
I think it was just a bunch of like a regular playing cards, but with the wrestlers on them.
No. There was actually it was actually a boxed card game, and it was you had to have a higher set of numbers than the other person, and you could flip things over with flip cards and shit like that. It was a weird fucking game. And you had the people that were on the cards. You had the heel side that were the lower numbers, and basically 5 and below were all heels, and Mr. Fuji was 0.
That's nice.
And everybody, and on the babyface side, I think it was 6 and higher were all the baby faces, and so you ended up having. Well, Andre was 10, so the best thing you could get was a 40. You had 4 Andres was 10. JYD was in there, Superfly was in there, I think Wendy Richter was in there, and I think Hillbilly Jim. On the other side,
have a card?
I'm sorry?
So Hogan didn't even have a card?
Hogan was one of the players you could be as. There were four.
Okay.
There were four designated placeholders that designated what person you were. And on the babyface side, it was Hogan and Tito Santana for some bizarre reason.
Well, he
I
was
don't know.
IC champ.
I was just about to
And-
say, he was IC champion at the time.
In '85,
Yep.
Yeah.
in the Rock
That was when he dropped it to Savage.
Oh,
forget.
okay, yeah.
He dropped it to Savage in early '86.
Yeah, Savage wasn't even in this game.
Well, Savage wasn't even in the show, if I remember.
Yeah, because it was what, 82, 83.
What, Rocket Wrestling? No, that's older.
In late '85.
Late 85. Okay.
Yeah, because I can actually remember watching Rocket Wrestling, so
Yeah, so can
I had to at least be 5, 6 years old by that point.
Yeah.
The fall season started in September.
And so on the heel side, it was Iron Sheik and Roddy Piper. And of course, Iron Sheik looked like Gargamel back in those days. So I have no idea. I had no idea.
By the way, I just need to know one thing if somebody can straighten this out for me.
No one else is gay.
Fucking Rocky IV, right? Fucking Adrian goes to visit Rocky while he's training in Russia, right? It's to stay with him.
Yeah.
They leave the kid home. They leave the kid home alone with the robot. My question is, why wasn't Dyfus called?
Money, John, money.
These people, they left their kid in the house with a fucking robot.
Listen, Dyfus, we could work something out, right?
These fucking people, they left their kid in the house with a fucking robot.
That's probably why Rocky was broke in 5. It wasn't Paulie forgot to pay taxes. It's Paulie probably used the money to pay off Dyfus.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh boy! Now I can't wait for Creed 2 to see that headline. Creed versus pretty much Ivan Jr.
And not to mention the fact that if Ivan Drago was piss tested, he would have lost the fight.
We are talking.
The fight was in Russia.
Not to mention it was an exhibition.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot.
Yeah, Drago didn't become professional till after Rocky IV. Anyway, we are definitely drifting off the wrestling topic, so thank you for listening to the revival of Hastly Kayfabed Recap. We will see you next week. The reincarnation of Hastly Kayfabed Recap. We will see you next week.
Suggestion, by the way.
Go ahead.
Oh gosh.
One of these episodes, we need to talk about wrestling video games.
Well, that could be one of the wild card episodes.
Especially how we could talk about all of our memories with No Mercy, about Court Kishi, No Pie for Ty.
No pie for Ty. It was Korkishi, no pie for Fry. Grandmaster Dumbass for Frank.
Yeah, and Frank hasn't killed you at the time. Why? And to give you an idea how big Frank was, Will, picture young Mark Henry at 16, 17.
And by the way, also to talk about how it seems like every fucking time you put WrestleMania Challenge in the NES, there's always an issue with it. Like it would not turn on.
I thought we were just going to talk about how S. Matt Hardy and S. Kane will clear the ring in Royal Rumble mode.
Someone actually got the Cornette bewildered face as a tattoo. What the fuck?
That's the power of a meme. Anyway, see you guys.
Yes, let's end the show on the.
Let's end the show with someone getting a tattoo of Cornette face on their body.
Could be worse. You know, they
could be like John. He's got a tattoo of Randy Orton on his ass.
Good night, everybody.
They could have gotten Reed's face on their pecker.